Hello and welcome to a special episode of Beyond the Trailer. I'm here with Rob Zombie.
Hello.
Horror movie extraordinaire. And also you have a movie coming out this Friday.
I do.
Lords of Salem in limited release.
Yes.
Right? So
it's out there.
I have to ask, with the name Zombie, what do you think of the current all-time high of the popularity of zombies with the mainstream right now?
Well, I feel kind of bad about it, actually. I seem to be the last person on the planet Earth that actually watched Walking Dead. I'm way behind the curve.
Yeah?
Maybe I was ahead of the curve, and now the curve came back around, so now I'm behind it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
that guy that's so far out ahead of the race that you actually look like you're in last place.
Oh yeah, but why don't you watch Walking Dead? What made you decide not to tune into that show?
I don't know. I'm still trying to catch up on old episodes of Cheers that I didn't finish out.
Those are the priorities.
Yeah.
Yes, well, you know, I
want to
say,
see how MASH turns out first before I jump to any new shows.
Well, I have to say, you are a horror purist, right? I mean, I think I've noticed that about you. How do you balance the art form of horror with the demands of Hollywood, the commercial demands?
Well, I don't know. For me, I really just do what I like because I really don't feel that you can. I mean, I guess you can, but I've never been able to. I don't understand what the general public likes sometimes. You know, what would everybody like? I don't know. You know, because sometimes that's Hollywood's thing is, for good or for bad. Let's try to figure out what everybody likes. And I don't know how you can figure that out. I mean, I guess everybody likes Coca-Cola and the Beatles, but beyond that, I'm not sure what everybody can agree on. So I just kind of, if I think it's weird and cool, I figure, someone else will too. Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of what you like, I read that for Lords of Salem, you've had the most creative control ever. Complete creative control.
Yes, I like that. That was good. Yeah, I mean, I've always had control over my films, but I never contractually had final cut, final everything, because no one ever gives you that. That's a scary proposition. I mean, with that comes a pretty modest budget, but it was worth it.
Well, since you had that creative control, what do you feel you've been able to do with Lords of Salem that you haven't been able to do before, like say on the Halloween movies?
Well, I think it's just the whole movie in a way, because with Halloween, everything was you could argue, well, I think it should be this way, and someone would argue the other way. You could kind of force it your way, but this, just from start to finish, I mean, really, I remember the first time I watched this movie with an audience, the whole last chunk of the movie, I was like, wow, this really could only be made without studio middling, because it's pretty out there.
Yeah?
It's hard to describe, but the few people that have seen it was like, man, it's weird. No, it's weirder than that. No,
Weirder than
it's
weird?
Still weirder than that. So, it's kind of like that.
Well, I think you really have a wonderful reputation in the horror genre. I mean, Bob Weinstein handpicked you for Halloween. You get the call. Here, Jason Blum and Oren Peli, the producers of Paranormal Activity and Insidious, come to you looking for a horror film, an original horror film. How does it feel to be respected in the genre like that?
I mean, it's great. It's great to be respected for anything, I guess. So no, it's all good. I mean, it's good.
Well, you're someone who's had a lot of success in multiple fields. It's hard to have success in any field, but you've been able to do it in multiple fields. What advice would you give someone who has varied interests like yourself?
Well, I think more now than ever, people are accepting of that, because I think there was a point at not necessarily when I started or something, but if you had success in one field, it's sort of automatically guaranteed that, well, it's unlikely that you can ever have success anywhere else. And if you are trying to have success somewhere else, it seems fake. Like, oh yeah, like, every actor suddenly has a band type thing. Like, oh yeah, now you're a rock star. But I think that, as more time has gone on, I think that a lot of people have diversified and done a lot of different things, and people are more open to it. But that wasn't your question. Your question was, what advice would I have?
Yeah, what would you say? Should they start in one area? Should they try and throw out as many fishing lines as possible and see what clicks first?
No, I mean, I think with anything in life, it's like you have to be passionate about it, because it's going to be a long journey. I mean, I had done the music because I was passionate and that worked, and when I made the switch to movies, it wasn't just like this will be neat, let's try this. I was just as passionate about it, and in fact, it was hard to convince people of that. It just seemed like, who's this rock guy who now thinks he can do this? So you kind of, you be prepared to have to prove yourself, just like, anything else in life, I guess.
And the last thing I want to wrap up with is about the horror genre in general. I think that, even besides zombies, the horror genre is an all-time high. You almost have a new movie coming out every month.
Seems like it.
Yeah, right? So what do you hope that all this money and attention might be able to do for the genre?
Well, it would be nice if it could just be different, in the sense that take some chances. Although, you know, money coming in doesn't usually go along with the phrase "take chances." Those two things don't really go together. But you know, it would be nice to see original, different stuff. I mean, I know that the trends are to remake things and to do sequels and to just keep readapting the same stuff over and over. But I don't know. That's not very special. I like the idea of I want to go see something I've never seen before that I never thought of.
Well,
so that's what I hope.
Lords of Salem, truly unique, right? Hits theaters.
It's different.
This Friday. It should be playing hopefully near you, so look for it. And thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.